So I'm seeing a lot of journalists who are working for The Guardian and other publications in the political center. Independent, New Statesman, CNN, New York Times. And they're panicking that Trump has won. They're very upset. And they remind me of what happens after a terrorist attack, where you condemn it, you call it a tragedy, but you can't explain why it happened. These journalists, these writers, they have no answers to explain why Trump won. And I think what it comes down to is that they don't see the suffering happening in America or in the UK. I mean, there's this guy, Jonathan Friedland, who writes The Guardian, and he loves to talk about how, like, in North Korea and Iran, like, there are horrible dictatorships, people are being oppressed. Yes, there's suffering over there. But in the UK, Australia, New Zealand, parts of Europe, Canada and America, no, we're civilized. You know, there's no bad things happening here. It's just over there. There's a few other guys, you know, this Polly Toynbee in The Guardian and this guy Stephen Bush, who really hates Corbyn, in the New Statesman. And they just talk about society as, you know, society is fine. You know, there's no real problems happening. And, you know, if you look at America, for example, there are millions and millions of workers at places like Walmart who work in a minimum wage, then working not just full-time, they're working overtime, and they have to travel back to and back from work, which takes a long time. They're coming home, they're being worked to death, but they're still living in poverty. They don't have enough money for their health insurance, they don't have good housing, not good living standards, whatever. And yeah, and these journalists or these writers and, you know, politicians who are politically in the center, they dismiss it. You know, they dismiss it as not real suffering. When someone like Trump comes along, he's basically saying to them, I'm going to help you guys. That's what he's saying. He's not going to help them. He's going to make the situation worse. But when you're so unhappy, when you've been let down by politician after politician, you look at someone like Trump and you're like, fuck it, I'll go for it. And, you know, people can say, oh, these voters, they're stupid, they're idiots for voting for Trump. Well, they're not stupid. What they are is desperate. You know, when you're really suffering in life, you should just kind of go for anything. It's a bit like, you know, when you're kind of, it's like 3 o'clock on a Saturday night and you just want to find a way to get home, and you'll just kind of take any cab home, or you'll take a risk or whatever. You know, that's the mentality of a lot of people. And, you know, in the UK, us on the left in Momentum, say John McDonnell, he's talking about like building council housing. He's talking about having quality council housing, social housing, to solve the housing crisis. And what a lot of people in the political centre do is they mock him. They kind of dismiss what he's saying. They write him off. Because in their opinion, there's not really a housing crisis. Yeah, there are some problems with housing for them, but in reality, they don't see any housing crisis. When there is. And yeah, this is the conflict between the centre and the left. Us on the left are saying, boom, there are serious problems in our country, we need to solve them. And the people in the centre are saying, no, there are no problems. And that's what the right wing or the far right love. Because then they can go along and say, we're going to help you guys, blah, blah, blah. They can go along to the voters and say, we're going to help you. And if there's no left alternative, say when Bernie Sanders was gone, he could have been there like on the debate saying, fucking Wall Street, these corporations are screwing us all over. And that would have resonated with these desperate people or these poor people. And he wasn't there. They chose Clinton and Clinton lost. You know, they saw Clinton as whatever. She's part of the establishment. She's not going to help us. And finally, I wanted to mention about J.K. Rowling, actually, because what she talks about, and she's another person in the political centre, she says many things I agree with. She doesn't like Trump, I agree with her. She defends refugees, I like that very much. She's quite open-minded on social issues, on gay rights and stuff. But what she does is that she's complaining about how people are violent, how people are aggressive, how people are bullies. But what she doesn't understand is that this behaviour is merely like the symptoms. These are the symptoms of the disease, and the disease is basically the economic system which is causing people to suffer. And yeah, that's it. I mean, people in the centre, they don't want to see it. So, I mean, I make this video to do my best, but probably won't do much. That's it.